The Victor Oladipo trade will not happen, guys. I hate to say it to all y'all fans out there, but I'm about to explain why now. It's your boy Splash NBA guy. So if y'all new to the channel, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. So Victor Oladipo trade is not gonna happen. Maybe in free agency, yes. I'll see a couple good situations, but no other way I can see it working. So yeah, let's get into it. Really, what do Houston have if they let Victor Oladipo go? As far as I'm going on and saying, what can they get if they let him go? Now, allow me to take out the trades real quick. Stop thinking about your my leagues, your my NBA or my GM, any of that. And think about this for a second in this perspective. What can Houston trade Victor Oladipo for with them getting a good price back? I mean, I heard the Mavs getting Josh Richardson, which I don't see coming just because it's not going to work. Josh Richardson is not the type of player for Houston right now. Like, that is a main point into this situation. Like, what can they really give up to get better? Now, I'm sorry for the way this footage was filmed, but yeah, like, really, Houston has a building block future. They know what Victor Oladipo can do after getting traded. Like, look what he did for Indiana once he was traded for Paul George. No one was looking at them as the best team. No one thought they could even make the playoffs, and they did it. Now, let's take a look at, per se, him getting traded for James Harden. Unlike the Paul George situation where that was at the end of the season, he was traded midst of the season. So he didn't have enough room and space to really get into the situation. They was like maybe 11th seed, I pretty much see. But really, he's in a new situation with a first-time head coach. And really, that's what they're going through. Like, I don't blame that on him. I think that really, it can get better before it can get worse. So yeah. And he's, by the way, 28. Like, he's going to be hitting his prime of his career very soon. And we just don't know it yet. So I think we need to take those consideration in before we start saying, well, he turned down a 2-year deal. Mainly, I have a reason for that. It's either to save up for free agency, which I think he should do, and say, he's thinking to himself, well, maybe Houston really wants me back because they're trying to sign me this big contract. Like, I really see him as the future of Houston for the long time for them, alongside my boy Christian Woods. Like, I'm not a Houston Rockets fan, but trust me. Let me tell you what they have going on. They have a 30-year-old John Wall, a 30-year-old again, and Christian Woods. I love this dude, and I think he may be the future with them. But back to John Wall, who will probably retire at 36. The problem with him is no team really needs him except for Houston and OKC. Like, with any other team, really, John Wall doesn't fit because he may make himself better, but he don't make the team better. Like, Bradley Beal made himself better, but without John Wall, we've seen how bad the team struggled. And number two, going into considerations, Houston isn't a big market to get free agency. Like, looking back on it, the last free agents that they got that was a superstar, and count out Christian Woods, was Dwight Howard. And that was the last one that was a superstar for me. Like, CP3 and Russell Westbrook were traded for them, even though CP3 may have went to Houston. But still, all the superstars that they got were traded for weren't really in free agency except for Dwight Howard. So yes, with John Wall, he may make himself better, and that may be the problem. He isn't making the team better. Like, if you can't make your team better and yourself better at the same time, which is very hard, you aren't the best point guard. Like, he's a top 20 to 30 point guard for me now, just because of how Wizards were playing without him. And like, Houston should at least in the draft try to get a point guard. Now on to Christian Woods. Christian Woods for me is the future right beside Victor Oladipo. Like, I get where they're going with the Anthony Davis type play style, but them two as a duo, I feel can shake the league up. Like, it's just into that consideration. If they get them a well passable point guard, Besides Christian Woods and Victor Oladipo, just maybe they can make the playoffs as an 8 seed, 7 seed, 6 seed, and like that's how good it is for them. And plus, Victor Oladipo was traded to Houston, which they didn't get another superstar. James Harden traded to Houston. So yes, again, Christian Woods may be their next superstar player. Besides getting, well, actually in a free agency going there to them. Besides Dwight Howard. So yes, Victor Oladipo and Christian Woods, I feel like are the full future. And let me just say the stats for Christian Woods. He averages 22 points on 31 minutes per game. That's pretty good. And now he's out for the injury. We don't know when he's going to return. Victor Oladipo averaging 20.5 points on 32 minutes with 38% from field goals, and 4.9 rebounds, and 4.9 assists. And the only trade I can really see Houston making is a John Collins trade for PJ Tucker and Victor Oladipo. Like, listen to when I say this to y'all. Houston is getting back, Atlanta's getting back Victor Oladipo. A great off the ball player who can give you 20 or 30-point night any day. And that's good for them. Like, look what they can get back from that. Now, John Wall's situation, he will give you 20-point night or 30-point night when you need it. That's good, but is he making the team better? That's my situation. Victor Oladipo can play off the ball, and him with Trae Young, I really feel like can make some noise in the playoffs. Now what's Houston again? Now you're gonna say Christian Woods part. John Collins is 6'9", can play small forward. So with him, you were getting a player who's now really starting to be able to shoot more, and that's good because he can shoot more now. I feel like it's the best running mate besides Christian Wood for John Wall. He won't need to be made better because he's already better, and that could help the team out. And like really, under pressure, you're trading PJ Tucker for John Collins with Victor Oladipo trade. It works out pretty well for y'all. Like y'all not losing anything very much, except for just Victor Oladipo and getting John Collins, who can give you a 19-point night to 20 to 35-point night. I don't see that as a bad trade in the end. So yes, they're doing something. Now let's talk about the free agency that I feel like. Look at the players they can get. JJ Redick, maybe. Just maybe JJ Redick and Kelly Oubre. Also, they can get DeMar DeRozan, Kyle Lowry, a true point guard, Andre Drummond, and LaMarcus Aldridge. Look what they can get from this. So, taking what I just said into considerations, do y'all agree or disagree with me?